What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay. We are here with another draft analysis, this time for the UPA. Yes, if y'all are hyped, go ahead and leave a like down below. Also comment down below to see which mon you're most excited to see us use this season for the UPA. The very first season, we were invited by the homie, our boy JayVee Westside. So shout out to JayVee. Thank you for inviting me, my man. It's dope to be here. I'm excited for the season. But we are here, and you guys are, I mean, based off the already first one, we got VICTINI. VICTINI is an awesome mon in draft. And you guys know in Crown Tundra we had a lot of mons come back, and I'm excited to use VICTINI because VICTINI is, of course, as you see right above us right here, the landing Victinis, our mascot. We got it. We scooped him. The bag has been secured. We could end the draft right now. I don't care. Just VICTINI. But VICTINI is super good in draft, especially like U-turn, and it has V creates its signature move, which is base 180 attack and its stab. It's like a truck. It doesn't matter if you resist it or not. It's doing a chunk. It's doing a chunk. It's doing a big old chunk. It does not matter. So we have a fire psychic type. Very nice. You know, I'm not one to care about cores in draft. If it doesn't really, if you have synergy, that's all that matters to me. I mean, cores are cool and all, and I think they happen like organically. It just happens because you got to cover certain weaknesses and stuff. So you know, but that's me. So next up, since we're talking about cores, this fire, water, grass core, and so you know, it's a Gigantamax league. For those that don't know, we do a lot of Gigantamax in this league. So gotta go backwards in time, because right now UVL and IBA don't do any Gigantamax or Dynamax or anything like that. So I gotta get in that mentality, because those sets are completely different than like regular sets. And I mean, not really, but sort of kind of yes, because you Gigantamax, you can take certain hits that you wouldn't normally be able to do because you got that double HP. I'm gonna stop rambling though. The next pick we got is RILLABOOM. We out here with the boom boom, the Congo boom boom. We got GMAX RILLABOOM. GMAX RILLABOOM is dope because of all like its moves. You have acrobatics, which is max airstream. You got grassy glide, which is stab, and then it turns into GMAX drum solo. You got drain punch, which turns into max knuckle, so you can up your attack. You got max quake, and you raise your SPDF and stuff. So there's a lot of things that RILLABOOM, its normal moves, help it out in GMAX form, because it gives us those boosts. Especially like weakness policy RILLABOOM or swords dance RILLABOOM, anything like you can easily like sweep, especially once you get the speed boost up. Not that it matters because you got grassy glide, but if you're not fast anymore and grassy terrain is gone, you can just hit things with grassy glide because you outspeed and it's doing damage. So you got RILLABOOM out here. I'm excited to use it. I have not used RILLABOOM in draft. I've used them like on OU ladder and stuff for fun, but some of these mons I haven't been able to get in draft. Like VICTINI, I wasn't able to get in IBA because it got sniped first round. I was like, what the hell? But I mean, we got it first round, so it's like I was dead set on getting VICTINI, so I don't even care. But we got fire and water, not fire and water, fire and grass so far. So I'm excited. Next up, I was like, you know what, we're gonna get our fairy early, so we went ahead and got the lovely TAPU LELE. Look at her, all pretty and junk. Look at her just peeking with anime eyes. We got TAPU LELE with psychic surge. So we have two terrains, which are nice. It's nice because it gives us an extra boost in our stab, which is always nice with the psychic and side shock. Gives us a fairy type. We're not weak to dark, we're neutral to it, which is kind of nice. What else? We got focus blast, we got calm mind, we got specs, we got LELE can do a lot of things. People are like saying it got nerfed and stuff, and you know, it did miss out on expanding force and stuff, but we gonna make it's okay. TAPU LELE finna pop off. I promise you it's gonna pop off. But yeah, I'm excited to use TAPU LELE. I haven't used it in draft. I don't think I've ever used it in draft. I mean, I've used it of course like on showdown and ladder and stuff, but that's completely different. Not really, because you can use the same sets, but anyways, I'm excited to use TAPU LELE. I think she's gonna pop off. Look at her, she a baddie. And then round 4, I was like, yo, we need a dark type, because you know, we got a dark flying, so we got to get them ground immunities for our boy VICTINI. RILLABOOM does help us out because it has the terrain, so it can help neutralize earthquakes and stuff. So people got to use like stomping tantrum or high horsepower, which is nice because they're less powerful than EQ would be in general. But since terrain, if they want to bring EQ, they can, because it's gonna be a little bit nerfed. But we got Mandy here, which gives us a defogger, gives us a U-turn, which is huge. So we have 3 mons with U-turn right now with VICTINI, RILLABOOM, and Mandy, which is great for momentum purposes. Mandy can take hits specially or physically. You can run Rocky Helmet, you can run Heavy Duty Boots. You could get nasty, run Nasty Paw if you really wanted to, but not really. We're not gonna do that. But yeah, knock off, U-turn, defog, roost, foul play, toxic. Mandibuzz is just there to wall and be a nuisance to opposing players, because it's going to be definitely hard to break through, because between U-turn and toxic and knockoff, we're just going to be whittling things down, knocking off items which are clutch in draft. So I'm excited to use Mandibuzz. It's been a minute since I've used Mandibuzz, but we're gonna be able to use it just fine. I promise we're gonna be able to use it just fine. Round what, 1 2 3 4 5. I have the, yeah, I even have the name right here. We got Noivern, another flying type, but it gives us a dragon type and a solid dragon at that. Might not have the highest attack stat, but for sure, not attack stat, but special attack stat. Base 97, I believe. It's not bad at all. Especially with Frisk and Infiltrator are two solid abilities. Frisk is awesome in draft because you can see what items people are running. You can even just lead Noivern all the time and just click U-turn or try to get the Frisk off and see what item's gonna pop off and then just U-turn out of there, because Noivern's base speed is 123. It's one of the fastest mons aside from like Dragapult and Zero Aura type tiers. But it's nice because Noivern has its own little speed tier that, you know, most people don't have access to, which is it's lit. It's lit. I'm excited to use Noivern. We've used Noivern previously in other drafts. I've loved it. It's a great mon. Also another defogger, another U-turner. I think I mentioned that before, but we got another U-turner, Noivern, Mandibuzz, Rillaboom, and Victini. We got 4 because you guys know, you guys don't know. For those that are new, we love momentum. We love momentum. U-turn and Volt Switch. Volt Turn is, woo, it turns me on. But I'm gonna stop. Let me stop. We out here doing some things with Noivern. I'm excited to use Noivern. We do have a little bit of an ice weakness right now between Noivern, Mandibuzz, and Rillaboom. But it's okay because Victini is there. Tapu Lele can use special hits very well, or relatively well. And then next up we have Arachnid. Speaking of ice weaknesses, I was like, yo, we gotta pick something up to cover it. We got Arachnid. Arachnid is bulk. It's like one of those mods that are, it's kind of growing on me in draft. I do like it a lot, between webs and just the bulk. And you can even run like a physical attacker set because of water bubble plus like mystic water or choice band. It's gonna hurt. Liquidation hurts, bro. So Arachnid is just one of those mods that are growing on me. You get access to webs, you can eat hits like crazy, and with water bubble, those fire type attacks that would normally be neutral are completely nerfed. We can't even be burned, which is lit. Only thing we gotta worry about is like electric types or rock types, and that's basically, I mean, grass a little bit because it's neutral, but we can eat, bro. We can eat, and we're a bug type, so we're definitely chomping on them leaves. But Arachnid is here. Arachnid is now. I'm excited to use Arachnid again. Because we did pick them up in UBL, but I'm definitely excited to have Arachnid back because, you know, looking at our speed tiers, and they're not fantastic. Victini and Noivern are the only ones 100 plus. Rillaboom is 85, which is not bad. Lele is 95, which is not bad. Mandibuzz is 80, so we're sitting pretty solid speed wise, but Arachnid would help us make up for the speed tier in general, which is super nice. And next up we have Palossand, because I realized we didn't have a ground type, so it gives us a ground type. Another mon weak to ice, but it's okay. Palossand's here, gives us an immunity as well, a solid like spin blocker because it's bulky. It can be brand bulky on both sides, to be honest. Physically, like, it's amazing. Spadef wise is base 70, I do believe, which is not, it's not bad. You can make ways around. You can definitely run Spadef Palossand, which is not bad at all, in my opinion. Excuse me though, that was a late excuse me because I did have a little but Palossand gives us a rocker as well because I was lacking hazards, unfortunately. I mean, I have webs, but aside from ones, I want some damage inducing hazards, so we got rocks right here. Palossand's applying those rocks. Ghost Ground is kind of solid. I like it a lot. I'm excited to use Palossand. Haven't used it in draft. I haven't really used it in general, so I'm excited to see what drafts we can pull off with Palossand. I'm really excited. Next up we have Jolteon, because I realized we didn't have an electric type, and I kind of want to boost our speed tier, and that gives us an electric immunity as well between Jolteon and Palossand. Electric types can't just freely go all over our team, even though we do have a resist in Rillaboom. Noivern can take it neutrally, but I don't really want Noivern to be our answer for an electric type. So we have Palossand and Jolteon, which is super nice. Jolteon is just a fast mon at base 130 speed. It can hit like a truck as well with specs. And if you don't have a ground type, we just Volt Switching and Thunderbolting all over your team. Because if you don't have switching, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't care. I mean, it did get a little bit hurt because it doesn't have HP anymore. So I don't mean like the HP stat, I mean like hidden power, because like hidden power ice is clutch and all those other shenanigans that you can run with HP. But it is what it is. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna see what we can do with Jolteon. We do have access to screens and stuff, so we can do some things. We can do some things because Jolteon has some good speed, base 130. A lot of things aren't touching that speed tier, and it can't be paralyzed, which is dope. So next up we have Garbodor, because I picked up Garbodor for two things. We didn't have a poison type, which is nice because you kind of need a poison type in case people want to run toxic spikes, and if you don't have a mon that's touching the floor to absorb them spikes, it kind of becomes a nuisance, and then you gotta worry about, like, I mean, I wasn't too worried about getting a poison type because I was like, yo, we do have like defoggers galore, and a lot of mons don't touch the ground. It's like Mandibuzz, Noivern. A lot of mons don't touch the ground. Well, we have two mons that don't touch the ground, but they have defog. Garbodor is just I feel like it's a kind of slept on mon, but it can shine in draft. It gets spikes and toxic spikes, which is nice, so it gives us another thing of hazards. We have 3 hazard setters in Arachnid, Palossand, and Garbodor, which is not bad at all. It has decent bulk, both specially and physically. It can hit like a little bit like a truck, beep beep, not like but a little beep beep because its attack set isn't too bad. But GARBODOR is going to be out here helping us deal with fairy types and whatnot. Gunk shot, drain punch. It has a decent move pool. It's not bad at all. Toxic spikes and spikes are very nice though, for sure. Hazards are always nice. They're essential to get that necessary chip damage to get an OHKO. Like I said, it's the difference between an OHKO and a 2 KO. I promise you guys. I promise. But next up we have KLINKLANG, because I didn't have a steel type. It's very low. It was like the lowest tier, I think, in tier 5. I think it's the lowest tier we had. KLINKLANG. I know like it's kind of a one-trick pony, because you can run like a subset with like shift here, wild charge, and gear grind, or you can run volt switch on it. It doesn't have really the best move pool in the world. But it gives a nice little steel type to also help eat the ice type attacks incoming. But I don't know how to feel about it. We'll see. We'll see how it works. I really don't know enough about KLINKLANG, so we're gonna see we'll see what it does. Hopefully it can pop off a little bit. And then lastly we have SAWK, because I was like, yo, I kind of want a knockoff user. I kind of want to have a mon that just like gives mons a hard time switching into, especially if we're not scarfed or banded. But if webs are up and we can deal big damage, you can't really switch into SAWK that well, because this move pool is great. It's pretty solid. You got EQ, you got knockoff, you got poison jab, you got close combat, you got all these hard-hitting moves that are pretty solid in my opinion. It has access to bulk up as well. Its attack set is nice. Its its speed is base 85, which is not bad at all. So we do have a lot of base 80s. Like KLINKLANG is base 90. GARBODOR I think is around the 70s. I don't have the tier. I don't have the mons up right now. Yeah, Araquanid and Palisand are slow, but we make up for it, I feel like, between like Noivern and Jolteon, VICTINI are solid. RILLABOOM we don't really have to worry about because we have the max airstream boosts. Hopefully we don't die before we GMAX. That would suck. But I feel like the speed tier is fine, especially with webs. We're fine. Not anything I'm really worried about. I feel like this draft team is a little like, it's kind of like one of the weirdest teams I have drafted myself, even though we do have a lot of unique mods that I kind of very am excited to use. But like, I think the weirdness comes from we used like tiers, actual tiers, not the point system. It was just a straight up tiers, and then you have to do like the you have tier 1, I'm looking at it right now, tier 1, tier 2, 2 tier 3s, which is that's 4, a tier 5, a tier 4 I mean, and then a tier 5, so that's 6 necessary picks. And then you have your GMAX, which is 7, and then you have 4 picks that have to equate to 400, I believe. And your GMAX can either help or hinder you from your 400 points. So if like my RILLABOOM was minus 40, so because it's a better GMAX, so I had 360 points to work with. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm excited to use this. I think the team is for itself is pretty solid. It covers each other pretty well. I might have to work around like some things that I've noticed on my team. It's not like anything detrimental, just like I'm kind of like, ooh, I could do this mon or this mon, but like we'll see what happens, because points and tiers are kind of like more restricting, I feel, than like using like a straight point system. But that's just me. I like points a lot. I just like points. But tiers are, either way, I'm just glad we have new mods. I'm just excited to do it. The drafting part is the best part. It's the most fun part, even though the battles are pretty lit too. Don't get me wrong. But I think I'm rambling a little long here. But without further ado, I'm your boy Jay. I'm gonna get about your hair, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.